Hey guys, Raze here, another Sekiro Shadows Die Twice achievement guide for you. We're going to be going for the Guardian Ape Immortality Severed, which is use the mortal blade to sever the Guardian Ape's undying. Now, that being said, this is right after you beat the Guardian Ape. You'll be going to the Sheen of Depths, and your closest spawn will be the poison pool. So this is where I'm at. So come back to the poison pool once you have the spawn, or the one that's above it, and that cliffside to the right over there. Either way, you will notice some changes around here that you know for sure that the Guardian Ape is here. This hut is destroyed. That guy is patrolling around. Some abnormal stuff. Now when you come down this area over here, you will also notice that there is a guy over here up against the wall. And he is hurt and talks about the ape as well. So you got a pretty good understanding that they are here. So this is me past that. So I'm talking about some weapons you might want to use. Any kind of shuriken or kuni. So one of these ranged weapons will do you a lot of good. Like I said, you saw the shaman down there. This is me ready to pass that, killed it. I came back to show you where it's at, a little better understanding and some tips on what to use. Now that being said, I only use the kuni on the second ape when it comes out, just to get it weakened up a bit. Alright, starting off, you're going to use the same attack pattern if you watched by the video. That is the whirlwind slash as well. So you could use firecrackers on it. It might be able to stun. I've never really tried as another secondary to get stunned, but for the most part, if you watch my video guide, this fight is going to be the same pattern as the last video guide. I'm going to be attacking it with the whirlwind slash after it does a set of moves. Now the only difference is when he does that. That is also another good spot. When he does that, he'll do that slam. That is a good time to get in there and do a whirlwind slash. Now get out like you always do, because anytime you get close to and attack him, he will put his head back on his head and do that terror scream. So be prepared for that. Like I said before in the video guide, if you can bounce off his head and be able to get that bounce and kind of push stuff away, that is a surefire way to get the distance. Otherwise, it seems like you can almost barely get away in time without getting some kind of damage from that. See what I mean? It's just about impossible to take some damage. If you're lucky enough, you might be able to get out and get just a scrape, but for the most part, it's just a pain in the butt. Now, you might be able to risk some more chances here, like maybe that one, or maybe the dive when he does a slash to get another hit in, but I mean, that's up to you. If you feel like you're being ballsy enough to take it out faster, go ahead, but I don't know. I just seem like some attacks are just really random, and he could have a secondary or a third hit that'll follow up. I just stuck with the surefire way of knowing what works and what might not work. So I just play this safe, considering that, you know, it only takes one good hit to get you basically all the way dead, and if you're not careful to get away from the rest of it, you might end up losing one of your resurrections. And that being said, early on the fight, you don't want to use a resurrection already. I mean, it may be good, it may not be. If you can stay alive the rest of the time to use your other resurrects, then it's good. It's not too big of a deal. But like I said, if you end up taking a lot of damage right off the bat here and there, you ain't gonna survive this fight. Now, another thing about the fight is, if you don't already know, that when you get his first death blow down, he will summon another ape, which is basically his wife. So he will summon that, and that will come out, and you gotta fight them both at the same time. Now, luckily, the other one is weak enough to where you don't have to worry about it having to deal a lot of damage to it. It will do a lot of damage to you, so make sure that you just keep your distance and watch out for them. Now you see there, I did a jump off its head, and yeah, ended up being able to bounce off of him to get that distance I need to keep away from that scream aura range. So keep that in mind. If you can get that jump off of him and bounce back, you'll more than likely be able to avoid that entire aura. Seems to be one of the only ways that I got away from it. Other times, if I did get away from it, it was just a scrape just by running back. So, also to follow up what I was talking about, the attack patterns here, I've been going off on other stuff enough. Let me go back to the attack patterns here. Like I said, if you watch my video guide, you'll know that when I attacked him their time, which is basically the only time I did, was when he did that 4 swipes, when he's all weaving and bobbing around like some kind of snake thing. That is a definite good one to get in there and do a whirlwind slash right here. Just wait for him, count the strikes, do that last one right there, and get in there and do your attack and get out, because he's gonna do his scream. Even there, that's weird. I even took damage from it there, even when I bounced off his head. Seems like it's not 100% workable. I don't know. That's just weird. It seemed like most of the times it worked for me. I don't get it. But other than that, anytime he jumps up in the air, you'll do a swipe and you do a slam. So get in there and you give him the whirlwind. And that's basically what you're going to be doing, is running around, waiting for him to jump up in the air and do his little slam stuff, or do his four strike swipe snake stuff. Can't say that 5 times fast. Gee. So get in there, get these hits, and you get out. And then basically you're just going to play the waiting game and just dodge around. Now, another thing is, be very careful and mindful of where you're at in the area. Try not to go to the walls too much, because if you have ever pay attention to these fights in the game, that when you go too close to the walls, it tends to take the camera angle and like shove it into the rocks. Therefore, you lose your lock onto the boss, which is always a pain. So you want to make sure you don't do that, so you can keep the lock on him so you know where he is at all times. With that being said, there isn't really too much more to the first phase than what I'm doing here, and we'll be getting into the second phase in a minute once I'm able to wait for him to do one of his attacks that I wait for it. Also, thank God on that note that I don't know if he could be able to do it for the fact that he has no free hands to throw poop at you. I'm surprised that they didn't add that into this second phase. They must have taken out all the vulgarity in this. No more pooping and no more farting, apparently, which is pretty funny, because, you know, he wouldn't have any free hands to poop throw at you with, which would be pretty depressing, right? I don't miss it, even though that was a good opportunity to smash him a couple times. So I've almost got him here. I mean, you could use your kunai, shuriken, whatever you want to throw at him here to weaken him down, but I would highly recommend that you don't. I would save it for the next step of the boss fight. And I'm going to show you why here in a second, because I'm going to get him here now. At least, if not, it should be pretty close. Maybe one more after this one. Yeah, one more. I would not risk even the slightest third strike on that. That's what I'm saying. The whirlwind is a very good move for a lot of boss fights. I use it throughout basically the entire game. It's fast, it gets you close, does only 2 hits, fast as well, and that's all you basically are going to get in a boss is 2 hits. Anything more than 2 hits, it seems like you're going to be done. Alright. Basically, got to sum this up for you, show you guys what I do here, how I take out the secondary ape, and wrap up this video, and I won't be talking through the rest of it. So, as you probably guessed, I use all of my kunai on the secondary ape, on his little wife. So only got a smidgen of a fraction of health of what he's got, basically. It is not nearly as tough either. And for the most part, when you even melee it, it's pretty easy to take down. And it doesn't really do a whole lot if you actually come up to it when it's just standing there. Now, if you end up dying a couple times with this, you'll hopefully figure out the pattern and get this far into it and figure out what happens and where. It only took me a couple tries to do this fight and to figure out what was going on and where, because you're just going to want to focus on him attacking and kind of keep your eye on what she's doing. Now, when she attacks like this, she will rear up and do some smashes and kind of learn those patterns to help you out to get some distance depending upon what is going on. Now, when she does that jump, that's a pretty good one to get out the way, because it's going to be a pretty good one. You're not going to want to just be like, oh, it's going to land beside me. You're going to want to run, because that thing is going to come right next to you. Or anytime you get the warning for an attack, it's going to be coming up. Now, most times, it's like a one-hit thing. Sometimes she'll do some kind of combos and combo it up. And right here, I kind of mixed it up and saw he did the opening for me, so I decided to change tactics for a second and go after him since I got some free hits as well. So you can do that as well. You can mix it up. If you see him going for one of his attacks you know he's open for, just make sure you pay attention to her and that she isn't already coming for an attack. So, like I said, if you just keep attacking her when she's just standing there, if you ignore him and she ain't doing anything, she's just literally just standing there, just rush up to her, do a whirlwind, and run. She ain't going to do anything to you. She won't even attack. She will just stand there. I'm just waiting for him to get out the way right now. So I'm going to go in there and finish her off because she's almost dead. Get her attack right there, and he's going to do that because you get close to him. So you'll see her here. If you see her start moving her arm up in the air, just back up and run. That's just when you see this big combo slam. And after that, go ahead and hit her a couple times, or 3, because like I said, she won't do much. When she's down to the combo or her one-hit jump or any of those things, she really won't do too much. And attacking her will weaken her quite a bit, so she'll be open for quite a while. Just get a couple hits in and make sure you run. Because your main focus is going to be him. That's going to be hurting you from the distance and coming and closing that gap. So if you can kind of separate them out. Go ahead and single her out, attack her whenever you get the chance. Use all of your kuni on her just to weaken her up a little bit, make it a little bit quicker so you don't have to run in as many times and possibly get hit. Because if you did get hit by her, it'll deal about the same amount of damage she does. It'll be like almost like a one-hit thing where your life bar will be almost depleted. Just keep that in mind. And once you take her out, it'll just be you and him one-on-one again. Same attack patterns, nothing else has changed. Only thing is you just gotta wait for him to do his jump with his little slam and his 4-strike snake swipe. So once you get that out the way, you're just gonna wait for him to do these tactics like you did before and whittle him down, and eventually he will fall. So make sure you keep using the whirlwind tactic on him and he will eventually die. Just keep jumping around and running on this map and evade all of his attacks the best you can. You do have 3 resurrects. If you do end up dying, just make sure you don't end up dying too soon after the first one, because you will not be able to come back too soon. So other than that, you could use some buffs, some sugars and stuff like that to make your attack damage more, or anything you may have gotten if you did end up killing any of the headless. Those items are pretty helpful as well if you want to use any of those that consume spirit emblems, but I saved all my emblems for my kunai just so I could target the second one from a distance. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video guide up. There isn't much more than you watch me take this guy out using my methods I already told you about. So with that in mind, thanks for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for more Sekiro guides. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.